Hello, hello. Welcome to the next edition of this Minecraft stuff, this world in progress. This is a realm server with loads of building going on, and the building's being done in creative mode, unapologetically in creative mode, whereas the actual gameplay on the same realm is being done in survival. So the only rules around the builds are you can only build with materials that you've got or could get. So you'll notice there aren't any beacons around in this world yet, and that's because I haven't fought the Wither yet. When I do, there'll only be one beacon for the first one, so we get another crystal, and then we have to fight it again to get the second crystal, etc., etc. Likewise, I'm not going to be spawning in elytras. They are going to need us to go to the end. We have killed the Ender Dragon, so we've got a head around. I'm using that decoratively. There's a head up there. It's not really a gameplay thing. It doesn't do anything, so I don't mind spawning them in. Until we were at the end, we weren't using things like end stone fences and stuff. Before we went to the nether, we wouldn't use things like netherrack and nether brick fences and all that junk. But once you've discovered something and in principle can get it, I'm just then spawning it in as a building material. So they're the sort of basic rules of this world. Where we are now is more or less, as far as I can remember, the world spawn, which was I can hardly believe it, in July this year, was a forested shoreline, quite heavily forested, backed by mountains. And if I go up, all of the area over here was forests. These are the mountains, and there's still a bit. No, none of that's the original forest. I've replanted that, but it was kind of like that. Yeah, I think everything's been replanted by me now. Nothing is natural. So I've messed around on my first day and dug this hole. And what I thought we'd do would be to take, basically, why can I hear a spider? Why can I hear a spider? To do a world, why can I hear a spider? There shouldn't be spiders anywhere. We'll find out in a minute, I suppose. Clearly there's a spider somewhere. We will take a world tour because there's lots of areas that are being built, and I kind of want to fly around them all and have a think about whether I want to take a break from this city. This city is Swinneyminster, and build some stuff in any of the other areas. Some of it's sort of standalone, some of it is extensive development similar to this, but we'll take a look. So on that first night, I dug a hole into the ground here. I just dug it down because it was dirt, and I had a wooden axe or something by then. So we came down here, and I just dug a cave. Why can I hear spiders? It's very disconcerting. It sort of stopped about here, the cave. I didn't have any of this dug through, and this was my first mine. And I remember a chicken coming in. I know what. Oh, why is it got lost? Let's try again. Let's try again. Right, here we are. So this was my first mine that we did. I know there's spiders in my room here. That's what it is. Let's just go and bludgeon them to death. Ah! Maybe I could do with a diamond sword to just smash things I find. Go away. You're not allowed in here. Right, there we go. So this is my... It's not supposed to be able to spawn in here. I don't really understand. They can obviously spawn on something only one block high. Very strange. Because when that door shuts, the ceiling comes down. So I don't know what they're spawning on. I didn't know spiders could spawn on a 1x1 block, but they are on this. And if I put carpet, I think what I discovered was if I put, this is getting sidetracked, if I put carpet there, then it gets fucked up when you put the pistons down. I don't know why that should be. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why, because they don't touch it. Anyway. Oh, maybe they try and stick to it, and then they probably try and stick to it, don't they? Pull it up. Can I put trapdoors down? Is that going to stop things spawning? Or is that going to get the same problem? Let's see what that does. Oh, yeah, that pulls the trapdoor up. Bloody annoying. Anyway, so this is this is later. So what are we doing? So this is the first mine that I dug. Now we went all the way down to bedrock and then all the way up again. So I guess one of the first areas is to show you is, see, the passageways have all been changed. It used to go that way, but now we go round a bend. This is the area back of my house, which I discovered. See, I was putting signs up at all this time because I was lost. I was new to I didn't know what I was doing. There you go, to the mountain. So this then comes back up. Yeah, it runs along beside a river, which I left the river there. I subsequently put railings along it. Yeah, so this is all pretty much original to the game. The old stuff that I first discovered when we came out here. I didn't have glass in those days, of course. And this is the first place I came out that wasn't forested, and I was so panicked I built myself an R with some candles in it, so that when I came down into the valley here, which all felt a very long way away, I'd be able to see it and know where it was. So that's what all this is about. And I gradually explored out the back here. There's basically, I haven't really gone north. There's just assume there's nothing here, because there really isn't. So let's go back. Let's go back the way we came, actually. No, let's not. Let's go another way, because over here, oh no, there's Enderman pulling apart the mountainside. This, I happen to know, goes into my base. This is another, just as I was mining, I gradually dug out the mountains and made them into what I wanted. Back to Seaview Apartments Nether Portal. Right, so I called these things at the front the Seaview Apartments. And that farm, well, I don't know if you can see, there's a farm outside the front door, which is the first proper farm that I built, and that's still there, that cornfield. And I built this into this is all in survival before I started using creative mode. So all of this was hand built, all of it was handmade and dyed and done all proper. Oh, look, there's a wandering tradesman in my bushes. This is my original bedroom, which had a view out over. Why can't I see my cathedral? How strange. Okay, there's some stuff not rendering in. Anyway, there's a lovely view out there. If I go to video settings, I want 29 chunks. Why isn't it coming in? How bizarre. I don't know. Anyway, this was all built. This water closet I built quite a lot later. I wanted to try an AFK fishing farm, so that's what this is. This is for AFKing fishing, and this is where all the stuff would come into these chests. And we still got various books and things that I've left in here. We built a food cooker here, and we built a incinerator here, which spits stuff. You put it in the chest, and if I shove something in there, and it spits it out eventually into the lava there, so it gets rid of it. All safe, all good. That's what the water closet is. I built up here. I basically just tunneled around and then stood back and tried to work out what to do. I made a room down here, which I kind of thought of as a big living room type thing. I don't know quite what I was thinking. And this came a bit later. Up here is a beacon, because when I went out to sea, the sea's over there, I wanted to be able to see this when I came back, because I was really worried about not finding my base. I haven't got a very good sense of direction. So that was one of the beacons, and you'll see there's another one of them stuck in the bay immediately outside the front of my main thing. Down in front of me there, you can see it there, the big beacon. That was there for the same idea. Oh, the nether portal, the first nether portal I built, actually was right outside my base here. And it stood in this place here. But I've moved the nether portal somewhere far more interesting. And I've put some management switches and things. So look, it's turning to night here. So if I just click that and then turn it to day again, we can do that. There's a switch to let players toggle themselves between creative and survival, whoever's flicking it. When some new player comes into the world, you can bring them down for the holding area, which is up in the sky in a barrier block case. And you can change the weather so it doesn't rain for however many days is the maximum. So this little farm area was the first one I built. I've tidied it since then, obviously, and it was very expensive to me to make these lanterns and things. I had to wait till I could build them. It was mostly torches. Yeah, that's all there. The bridge is old, back from the original days, so I've decorated the bridge, put an armor stand, elytra, and the dragon head on there, and the dragon egg behind it, because they're sort of my trophies, and I quite like that on there. This used to have pillager raid banners and things all over it. To protect, this used to be the main entrance after my apartment up this slope, and to stop things spawning anywhere around me, the whole thing's covered in berry bushes, whatever these thornberry bush things are. And you can see things get stuck, they can't move, they can't get me, because they can't do anything without dying. One of the llamas has already died because they've spawned in there. If I give them a tap, they'll go for a run, and they'll hurt themselves by there you go, hurt themselves by jumping on the things again. But many pillager raids have been stuck in here, and skeletons and things. There we go. So that was what the point of all of that was. And we used to come down here, and I used to go into the woods that were here. And then one day I looked across, and there was dimly in the distance some land over there, and this was all just, this is water, if you look here. And I thought that land was incredibly far away, so I built a cobblestone causeway type bridge to it, and that is what this bridge is. It's since been paved with stone instead, but the shape of the thing is exactly the same. We came round in a bend, and we went over to here, and then this was all just grass, loads of grass, with animals galore. The first place I've seen animals, because over there was forest, and so the first sheep and pigs, etc. And then this island here I discovered, where the main oldest bit of the village is. Here's an island, and so I put the pigs on there and called it Pig Island, hence Swinneyminster. Swin means pig, E is for an island, is what that means, and Minster is because I built a cathedral. Yeah, so the island was cleared eventually to build the town. The first major thing I built, other than the base, which is quite easy because it's just putting stuff into the mountain, although I'm quite proud of the dome that eventually got built above the main thing. There's 3 layers of stuff, and it's above the enchanting table. It's all quite nice. The first thing I built was the cathedral. I wanted to build something big. I was sort of vaguely in and out of a mate's world, and we were looking at building a church, and I thought, no, let's build a cathedral. So that's why the cathedral's here. This tower here, see, I was still in survival at this time, but this tower here, I built first to protect the stuff back there. But when I started building the cathedral, I was quite legit building, and the cathedral was half built in survival until I went bonkers. And then I've got my original stuff. I've got some banners to mark stuff with, various bits. Oh, I've got a sword in there. That's where one of my original swords went. Cool. Anyway, and I had my bed here because I was working here. And then eventually I thought, this is ridiculous, and started using creative mode for the build, and that's carried on since. So this tower is quite old, and at first I didn't like the way it blocked the cathedral, but I've come to quite like it a bit of asymmetry, but we've got a walkthrough video of the cathedral already. It's in the same playlist. I think it's the first in the playlist. You can go and have a look yourself. This is the cathedral, and I'm still mega proud of this. I think it's super. Really happy. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. When this was all grass, I called it New Zealand. When it was all, because it was a bit of just stone brick. When it was all grass, I'd dug a mine down over here, which I left here. So you imagine this is no cathedral, and this was my second. Why can't I jump down there? Go down. Go down. Go down. Go down. Why can't I go down there? Why are ladders so temperamental? There we go. I haven't put steps here yet. There's not much here, but this was my second exploration underground, other than the mines over by my base, and I was well freaked out because I discovered this the first time I'd seen one of these proper underground chasm things. This is all area I just grabbed resources from. I didn't do anything with. But yeah, so this is underneath the cathedral, I presume. I haven't really gone through and got my bearings. And I did originally think it would be nice to terraform this and make some great hall or something, but I haven't here. You know, there's other bits of the world we could do, and I put some grass down here at some point. Why did I do that? That's a very strange thing to do. I can hear water. So I don't know where I am. Maybe I'm under the sea somewhere. Who knows? This 3 things in a row was sort of how I used to mark entrance and exits. I presume this is the exit. Yeah. So let's go out of here. Just, it's quite fun to know that there's something from the original world. How do I get out? How do I get out? Up there. Original world still stuck lying under the cathedral. I think it's quite nice. That wasn't in the cathedral walkthrough. Back out. So yeah, so all of the shell of this was built by hand. I had to demolish a mountain as well, which I did, if you can believe it, by hand without using commands because I'm an idiot. Anyway, so we effectively flattened off the land. It was originally all at this height, and then I dropped it by a block to stop stuff spawning. And kind of the rest is history with this, really. Back over at my base, if this will let me go there without lagging the hell, towards, when you come out my front door up the top here, towards this side where all these pumpkins are, I also went exploring. I put these pumpkins here ages ago. There was a few more trees here. I terraformed this a bit. But that used to be my second mine. That was a very, very productive mine down there. So many diamonds, so much stuff. Really good, just strip mining under the mountain. But it's kind of exhausted, and I've shut it off. These bridges and all of this was stuff I built ages ago. The waterfall's new. All of this footpath here was stuff I built a long time ago. If you look at my Minecraft video, the cathedral video, you'll see that we start from somewhere along this footpath. You can see what the world looked like then. And up here was all just nothing. It came out to a nice viewpoint area here, I think. Somewhere about here. Yeah, that was a nice viewpoint. Over here was sort of some open pasture, and I think there was a lake in it. I carried on building steps up. I wanted to go up to the top of the mountain up there, and this wall is actually using the steps that I built back way in the original time. The same pathways, the same routes anyway, they've been relayed, but all of this was my original path making stuff. Why can't I get out? Oh, I've got to go up the steps, have I? I don't know quite where I've got to go. I can't remember how this works. Yeah, we're back on the wall now. So where this tower is, I think, was where I tried to build a third beacon, but you couldn't actually see it from the sea. It's too far away. I didn't have render set up nice and high back then because I had a shitty graphics card. I guess we should see what we've got in Swinneyminster now. What we've got is my main storage and enchanting and brewing up there areas, and a spare bed in here, and various ways out into the base and to places. So this is where all the action happens. The original base. Over here, which is now sealed off. Why is there so much lag? Let me through. Oh, you bastard. Let me through. Thank you. These things are months old. They'd have gone off by now. My cats and dogs are sitting out here by the football pitch in the park. There's a video called Park Life where I built this. I built a fortification around it, which that was sort of fairly old because I wanted something to protect me as I walked around, and I had the beginnings of it over sort of here. These paths along the wall and up here are fairly old, and these towers. And this where all these houses are here. You can see the video before you see me sending all the animals on holiday. They were my original animal areas, and this bridge here. This all used to be sealed over, but it's not anymore. This bridge here was built so that skeletons in the water and on the island and stuff over here couldn't see me and attack me because it's very shallow. They used to come wading in. So as long as they couldn't see me, that was why there was a bridge there. It wasn't really a bridge. It was just a wall above the water to stop them coming in. But now it's a bridge because it works that way. The nether portal is up there. We've talked about the city wall. We know about that. This is the whole city. You see there's a water mill there surrounded with mills. This is the island we're going on to now with a nice custom tree and the main little parish church there. And these are lots of houses, and there's a fish market. That's what this is. There's some stuff upstairs. There's a sort of tavern thing here. Don't commit suicide, mate. It's not that bad. Just go back to work. There's a park here, with benches and stuff. There's a stables here, and when you see the prismarine roofed stuff, you know this is to do with the royalty in this city. That's how it works. So the kind of civic stuff has this cobblestone sort of style, like what's around my base, but where it's prismarine, that's royal, because the walls connect to the royal palace here. You can see we'll walk around the palace in a little bit, but the palace is there with a keep, and it connects to the walls. Blah de blah de blah all the way round. This is the royal palace. The royal palace. Yeah, anyway, we'll look at that in a minute. And it connects to the walls, which we've seen go all the way around the entire area of this whole city. They bound the whole thing. Up beside the cathedral, connected to the cathedral through a door in the tower there, there's a bridge that goes up to the pinnacle of this mountain here. I've built a monastery, and there's a few clerics live in there, and there should be a butcher. Is he dead? Has he gone to sleep? I know he's gone to sleep. Why is there a bee up here? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're lost, aren't you? So there's also a lost bee up at the monastery. There's this weird water tower thing, which I'll talk about when we come to it. And then the square around the cathedral has got this thing here, which I think looks unfortunately like a Spanish hacienda. I'm not sure about the style, but it's there now. It's not going. That's the city museum. These are just some nice buildings that are on the main square. I was thinking in these European cities, often the really nice shit is on the main square, and it's kind of preserved, the best ones. This is supposed to be sort of a town hall thing. That clock there is a genuine working daylight clock. Although when I keep resetting times and going out of chunks, I'm not sure it works, but there's a big redstone mechanism behind it. It should show how far we are through the day or night. So this looks like we're 2 clicks to morning. That's what that means. We shall see if we are, though. This is a market I built on the side of the square, so I could come trading with everybody. All of the people are out here. There's some wandering traders trapped, doing business. Where are they? Where are these two? Are there two missing? Oh, looks like we've lost two. Looks like we've lost the animals as well. There used to be a pig and 2 butchers here. They really vanished. I wonder how. Let's bring a pig back. There we go. So those 2 should turn into butchers. No, okay, come on, you're butchers. There we go. Well, they will be butchers anyway, because they've got blocks hidden somewhere. There you go, in there. Yeah. So that's what all that is. I wonder why those ones died. Must have got shot by something from outside. That's really odd. This is a little, and then over by the cathedral, there's a park here. So let's do a walkthrough of base through the city. I suppose that's how we start, isn't it? Let's start on the bridge. The bridge was something I did fairly recently, and you can see the videos, the development of the bridge. So you walk up. These chickens have been on that island forever. Every now and then I breed them, but that's where the chickens are kept. And I used to row out to them. There's a little jetty there, and there's a gate in the side where I would row out to from my bridge and dragons. Elytra statue thing over there. Right. Now this is the bridge, and on the bridge is a smaller church. To keep the door shut. I think there might be a cleric in here. No, there's no cleric in here. Yeah, so this is just straightforward little chapel church thing on the bridge. Nothing very exciting about that. Down here, where's it? Oh no, there's a wandering trader in there. Makes himself invisible. These are various. No, he's got stuff for sale. These are various people. I put some gaps in the thing here to give beautiful views out across. And this does look particularly nice at night. And there's a view out over there towards the cathedral and the bridges. It's pretty nice, that. These are all shops. You can see the people in all the shops. And if you... Oh, okay, he's a wandering trader. You can see if you go up, there's a fireplace typically, but I haven't developed the insides of these yet. They need work to do the insides. Closed for holidays because this was the place that just has armor stands. It's supposed to be like shop dummies. There's some derelict shop. What's in here? This is a fisherman. There we go, with sails, and he keeps his stuff on ice, as a fisherman would. What he's doing up there. They're not very happy people, are they? No, they're not very happy people. That leads up to the cathedral here, but then we'll go up and have a look at the cathedral. Where is it? Up there. I know we've sort of been here before, but I'm just showing how it fits together this time. And into the main square, with the cathedral up there, town hall over there, this nice park area with benches here where people can sit after getting to the cathedral, I suppose, and look at the views and chat. We'll have a look in the gardens. These are just a memorial garden that I thought would be nice to have. What does this say? Memorial gardens. There we go. I don't know if this is completely mob proof, but this just has these things in it. It's supposed to look a bit like monuments, I suppose. Various paths that go through, and apparently a Enderman. Yeah, that's all that this is. Just a group of mossy monuments in a garden. It's just quite nice. Quite a nice idea. And the other day, I actually also put a beehive up there. So if that wandering bee can find his way down here, he's got a home there. This is the side entrance of the cathedral. We know about this. This is the town hall, which has got my pet parrot. Yay, hello. He took a long time to get home. And the town hall is, well, I didn't know what to do with it. It was just the clock is all I wanted. I was going to build a clock tower, but then it kind of turned into this. We start upstairs. We've got various rooms up here. There's a library thing over there. This is just like a office, I suppose, with sort of modern-ish type lights and things in it. The noises of the people in the market outside. There's nothing much in here. Around the other side, oh, it's just a library area. That's all that is. With views over what, well, used to be and still are unfilled territory. Now this is, we've got a teleportation network that I've started. When you teleport to Swinneyminster, this is where you teleport to. You arrive here at the top of the steps. And there's a little book which I just gave to, there you go, just some people that were playing with me. I thought I'd leave this information. Just some random storage cupboards and things in here. There's nothing very exciting. What's on the other side? Yeah, just a barrel. Fine. So these are storage. And then we had a load of empty space, which I thought I was going to make into kind of office space. But instead, this is now the home for all of the teleporters. So all of these things have teleportation pads, and all of the places are marked with particular banners and designs and teleports. So this is the sort of teleporting hub for my world. If you want to go anywhere by teleport, you come here, and when you come to Swinneyminster, you come here, and this also takes you up to the map room, which we will look at later. So that's what this building is. The kind of the nerve center. Let's see if this is saying it's daytime now. The clock hasn't moved. Oh, it's doing something. I don't know. This I think looks a bit like a satellite arrangement. So that's kind of the idea about how the teleportation's working. I don't know. I've been messing around with the times of day so much. I'm not surprised that's not working at the moment. This is an exit out. This is my main road, which we'll deal with another time. There's a cafe here with outdoor things. This is quite nice that you can put carpets on string and you can kind of hide the carpet. I had wood originally, it was very chunky. In here, yeah, there should be, there we go. I've got to give him some stuff to sell. I've got to put some like burgers and things on there by using player heads. But there's a guy here who has his own kitchen. He sells stuff. Nothing in there, is there? No, nothing in the barrels. He sells stuff in the restaurant, clearly. So that's what this is, in the cafe. Then there is a pub called the Creeper's Head next door, which has some people. It's got a jukebox here that plays in the corner. There's some records you can put in the jukebox. Oh, I've got to fill in all the frames with something in this. This is months ago, and I still didn't ever finish it. So that's this place. There's a bell in here for ringing last orders at, but also because villagers like bells. Out the back, the villagers have got their own sort of vegetable garden. Yeah, they've spawned a golem. I didn't know they'd spawned a golem. Hello, mate. There's a donkey. You should be attached to something with a lead, but I don't know if he is. I can't really see. There's a duck as well. Okay, well, anyway, that's what's going on out there. They're just living their lives and enjoying it. Then upstairs in this pub, because this is the kind of main marketplace, is accommodation for guests. So there's just all these rooms. Stop it. All these rooms are pretty much the same. There's just beds and some cupboards and stuff. Nothing very exciting. All variations on a theme in these. Over here is the sort of master bedroom for the owners, which has a nice sort of posh bed thing, and some, yeah, this is quite nice. Wardrobe, nothing down there, no. Wardrobe, mirror, another more mirrors, sort of a dressing table. Yeah, this is their room. I don't know who's using it at the moment. And over here, there's a sort of shared bathroom thing. So this is, there's a shower here, the window. You don't want to be able to look in and see someone in the shower actually from next door. And toilet over here, and a sort of sink thing, some towels. That's what that is. It's quite nice. And then this is just sort of a living area, a socialising area for people. I think, yeah, I did a bit of storage out here. And there's also an upper layer in here, which has nothing in it, but it shows you all the beams and stuff, and I liked it enough to light it up and make it accessible. This is sort of the lighting for downstairs, and you can get into the bit next door. So that's what this is. That's that house. Down here, yeah, down here. Let's just go straight down there. So these are quite finished, these places on the main square. That's the Creeper's Head pub. There's these guys, look, there's a gate there that they could use, but next door is clearly, look, you can see he's a wool and he's a straw merchant. What have we got here? T. Haberdasher, wool, a hay and wool merchant. Perfect enough. That's the hay and wool merchants. He's got you can trade there. What's he got here? He's got a door. A Spartan bedroom. He's got not very interesting, is it? I think he's got access to his own upstairs here, which is a big storage area for all of his hay and wool, and I presume he's nothing in the chests, but yeah, woolen stuff here. This is just the entry hatch for taking delivery of things from that craney thing out there. Look, there is a loft space in here as well, which he can't get to because I've done the ladder too short for them to the bottom for them to pick up, because I don't want villagers stuck on ladders. They don't know how to use them. This is just another empty space. And now this is going to not let me down, isn't it? Oh, good. Shut that. Why have we got that there? Okay, so I presume it's part of the design. Right, that's that house. Next door, there's a bat. What are you doing there? I think this was supposed to be like a flower cellar or something. I don't know if I ever put someone in here. Did I put someone in here? There's a mirror, a bench. Yeah, he's there. Not much of a life though. Out here, there's a well. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just a well. Some flowers. That's it really. That's all that's out there. I think this has an upstairs that he can't access. Oh no, there's another person who lives up here. So this has some flowers. He's at least got a bed. I can hear a bat. And a tree and some benches and stuff. I don't really know what this all is. It was just some stuff. And again, we've got a spider-filled loft. Yeah, that seems to be that. These guys are locked in their houses. They're not allowed out. We'll do the museum another time. It's a natural history museum showing you all of the life that's in the world. It's quite cool. I do need to extend it for the end now. It's only got nether in it. And there'll be another update, so I'm going to wait for that before I do big extensions. This is all of the sort of toolsmiths and metalworkers. They've got their own place on this side of the square. And if we go over here, this walkway around the back of the cathedral, I talked about this little water thing, which is up here. Yeah. This was me trying to work out in the cathedral ceiling. I wanted a coral roof, a blue coral roof, but in order to do that, it needs to be surrounded by water. And I was trying to work out a design out here to somehow keep water suspended in the roof and running over the top of the coral, blah, 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 to get it to work. Which I couldn't do because I discovered coral, it drips through the coral in the end anyway, and I didn't want water dripping down through the cathedral, so I gave up, and it's got lapis lazuli embedded in the roof, which is just as nice. Not quite as much detail, but it's nice. But out here I was playing with water falling onto things and through things, and instead of demolishing my just games, my playing, I actually used it, and I made it symmetrical, filled it with bricks. I just like the idea of there being like a little water mill thing, cistern, I don't know, out there. Now this, up to the monastery. I don't think we've shown the monastery. This is the back of the cathedral. Let's just quickly look this way. So this brings us out in here. These are the confessionals. This is the main nave of the cathedral running left and right here. So that's the big main entrance at that end, and there's the altar at that end. And over here, past the statue on the left, this is the idea that the monks could get in and out of the church. Here we go. They've got their bridge across. You can get out there. There's nowhere to go out that way, but you can get out that way. So this was a covered, semi-covered bridge. You see the cover stops. Here, it's quite a nice, big, elegant bridge, I think. It's quite a nice thing. It leads out to the monastery that's up there. Now, this was sort of inspired by a place in Greece called Meteora, hanging something or other. I don't know. I don't know what it means. I shouldn't start saying things I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's monasteries on the tops and pinnacles of mountains and things. So that's what I was aiming for here. There's the bee again. As you come in, it's got a tiny courtyard where I love it that everything's frozen here because it's so high up the water freezes. There's a little area just under the tree that's protected. I really like this. It's very cute. You can get out that way because there's a single block there. So there's this tiny courtyard that runs around the edge here. Oh, in here are the clerics' brewing stands, so they can access them or see them because they think that the trapdoors aren't there. On the upper level of this, there's access to this. It's now covered over. It wasn't originally. I feel sorry for them getting cold. Here's the clerics. There's this upper level up here, walking around on top of the courtyard. This is their bedroom. It's not much of a bedroom. They haven't got stuck on this, fortunately. They can go up. Well, they could go up here to eat. You see, there's a butcher. Is it? The idea is he would supply food, and they'd sit in here and eat. And this has some nice views over everything, over the world. Let's go down there again. No, come on, I want to go out. No, I don't want to trade with you. I want to leave. Yes, thank you. And here's their chapel, but you need to go down to get in there. So if we drop down here, out of the side of the courtyard, there's a door here, which leads off to a kind of a veranda. It's very overhanging. This is very typical of sort of like Mount Athos monasteries, things from Greece and Orthodox places, again like Meteora in Greece. So that's there. There's a bell here to encourage them to come out every now and then. And this leads up to the little chapel. There's a table in here, and like the other one, it's only a tiny chapel. This is quite nice, actually. These candles are cool. It's 2 armour stands at 90 degrees with a bit of nether wall smashed down with a piston between them. I like them. You see them all over the cathedral. I'm just going to chop that out, because doing that stops the villagers being able to climb, because they would just get stuck at the top and not know what to do if they climbed it. So this is the monastery. Now let's go down again. What's next? This is an extensive tour of the city. I think we'll have to do the show of the other regions later in another video, I think. It's a lot to take in, and there's still a lot to see here. Hello, B. So we wanted a palace. Let's walk through the town to get there. So if you'd have come out of that gate of the cathedral, you'd rapidly discover that it leads to a dead end. It doesn't work. Anyway, we walked up this bridge to the cathedral. Let's go the other way. This is the original town. So not the town on the bridge. This is the original town. And there's an irritating bug in Minecraft that when you have something 2 blocks high, so they can't go upwards, villagers get stuck on fucking flower pots, amongst other things. That these houses are sort of done out. No, that's not, is it? Some of these houses are sort of done out, and others aren't. Typically, if I've put a iron door in, it usually means I want these people to stay put. So what have we got in here? No, I haven't done these houses. Okay, I've virtually done none of them. I thought I'd done some of them. It's quite a bit of work. They just need beds and carpets and stuff putting down. Look, these ones have got gardens. These are some of the posh ones. So this one's got sort of a fancy patio. You can grow some melons, apparently. I think this guy's a farmer or a gardener. Yeah, he's a farmer. And they've got access to the river. There's a boat missing. Why is there a boat missing? There shouldn't be a boat missing. There should be an oak boat there. Right, there we go. Which get filled with foxes for some inexplicable reason. This guy here has a sort of a nice-ish garden as well. With a little bench to look at it if we go into his house. What's this? This is just a storage room, isn't it? He's not in his house. Right, anyway. Blah, blah, blah. So this is this main street you walk along, and it turns into a bit of a maze. So there's a bit of a arrow. So there's one main thing you can do, which is a riverside walk, which runs along the side of the island and around the original island. And then the main paths. What have we got here? Yeah, I need to do these rooms, don't I? They're all empty. Shut the door. They clearly don't like the door shut. Stubborn bastards. Over here, there's a little well there. I like this. You can see people take a shortcut across to cut the corner, as you would. So there's a bit of a worn path there. These bushes here, these lampposts with the light detectors, they're very good, but they're so high up that the light doesn't go very far. So what we do instead is somewhere under that one, you can see just about, we've got a few blocks down some glowstone topped with a carpet, and then that topped with bush. And you wouldn't notice, but it sheds its light onto the street and makes the streets more proofed for me. We through here. This is just a bit of a maze. These are supposed to be like shops. See, there's counters and things in them. Look, someone's left the back door open. Yeah, I don't know. I let these villagers go out. You can see you can jump over this, so maybe they've gone wandering, and there's no bed in there anyway. So I don't know where they are. And then there's a fountain in the square here. This is a build of another type of cafe place, which I copied off someone else and just adapted the textures and a bit of the decoration. We've got a guy asleep in his bed under there. This is the bar, and there's lots of tables and there's storage and stuff. And there's an upstairs which has basically just more sitting spaces. So it's very much a cafe, or a restaurant, I should say. This is where the guy was committing suicide earlier. And there's an outside space here and a view over the square. Maybe he was just looking at the view. It's quite nice. This is the fish market. And in here there's a fisherman with all of his wares on ice again. There's just lots of winding streets that you can get lost in. Sometimes they go across. So that house there, you can see it's got oh, it's dark in here. Things could spawn in here. Don't want that. Surprised nothing has yet. Let's just sort that out. There we go. There's another door here. This is just a shell, isn't it? I haven't done this room, this house. So this is a shell. Where's a house that's not a shell? I wanted to look at that one because it looks like there's a connecting passage up there. Is that in this house, maybe? In here? No, that's just a storage shed. How mysterious. The noises you can hear is this is the back end of the stable, the royal stable, in here with all of the things up the side, and in there are some skeleton horses that I won off the skeleton trap horse that did at one point. That was really cool. There's my main horse, and there's a couple of llamas that I decided I'd acquire. Over here is one of the De Rigger Minecraft statues that everyone copies. They're quite cool. And this one here is carrying a bowl of fire, so I've named it that. If your Latin's any good. We're just wandering around. This is that shortcut across that we talked about earlier. Let's go and do the Riverside Walk. That's around here. Yeah. So the Riverside Walk and Castle View. This is quite nice. This is a sluice bridge. This is the only sea entry into the main village. So that's got a button thing to stop people going in. Anyway, this comes around here. Look at the spiders. There's some entrances to the beaches. People want to go onto the beach. Oh, I think back there, someone's got a wine cellar. If my memory serves me right. Is it here? No, no one's got a wine cellar there. My memory doesn't work. So this is just a walk around. There's the main bridge over to the palace, the castle, whatever you want to call it. This guy's got a cellar there. Anyway, and the bit just by the palace is separated off just for security, I suppose. So you could lock that. Well, that's the main entrance to the palace, and the main entrance is by sea. So out there goes out to the open sea, and then you would come up the river underneath the bridges, so that You pull up here, go to the palace. If you want to carry on to the city, you have to come around here to that gate thing we just looked at. Can't go anywhere else. You can try and go that way, but this is the bridge up to the monastery, and it just dries out. And there's nowhere to go, and it's fenced off and barricaded in, so it's secure. That's some parrots. Right, let's go back to the Riverside Walk. So yeah, we'll go over there and have a look around the palace shortly. Let me shut that segment off. It's a big palace. That's the stables. We can hear them again. This is just a pond that was here, which I quite liked and decided to keep. Look, there's a path up there. There you go. So these use of the path blocks to mark where people have wandered off the main paths. And this is just the Riverside path again. There's another path that goes up here. This is just a rabbit's warren or a rat's warren or whatever you say. Not actually that complicated, but when you start shoving houses next to each other and just letting the roads go where they want to be, you end up with very complicated stuff. There's a bench here you can look at, some nice trees and plants dotted around. These are quite spacious. This one's got a cellar, look. Why can't I go down there? There we go. Yeah, there's a cellar with nothing in it at all. Anything upstairs in here? Can't remember. Oh, look, there's a disgusting carpet. And he's got a balcony as well. This guy's it's a nice house, big house. So we can drop down again. Yeah, so this is the bees out there now, Riverside Walk. And all the way, oh, we've been along here. Yeah, we went in there, didn't we? Or there, who knows? There's lots of places we could go. Lots of places. There's steps up here. Where does that go? Oh, that goes up to somewhere. Oh, no, okay. Even the houses are like warrens. They're fun to build. You end up with a really complicated set of twisty turnies to explore. I'm only showing you a bit of it. There's more paths going back into the town here. I don't know. They're all houses. No, I haven't done a proper chimney in that one. Yeah, obviously, a very smoky house. Over here, that house is propped over this. Yeah, okay. This is I decided this was the presbytery because I connected that through to the parish church. If we go into the church, maybe that's the easiest way of doing that. This is a little external altar which could be used for special things, I guess. And this keeps going around. What's that doing that for? Keeps going around the riverbanks until we come to that big custom tree that I mentioned what feels like an eternity ago. And up there. So there's a little park by the custom tree. I like the custom tree, it's cool. We just walked around that side of the island. We go into the church. This is quite a nice church, this one. This does need some things putting in the panels, but I like this church. I think it's really cool. I think it looks good. Here is the entrance to the presbytery, and his bed's up there. Oh, there he is. Hello. His bed's up there. And he won't be able to come down here. Here. Where did that go? There. So there's a floor down here. Where does this go? This leads out here. It says presbytery on it. It's all just houses. Anyway, loads of complicated houses. If I fly up, you might see now this area. So we just came in over here by the cathedral. We walked along this bridge, in there, wandered around, got lost, and then took the riverside walk, which goes around this side of the island, all the way round, all the way round, all the way round, and over to this end. Let's just finish off the city, I suppose. So back by the custom tree. There's just buildings everywhere. Lots of buildings. Some of them nicer than others. There's a passage through them there. And this leads back to the park thing, where one of my animals used to be, and which there's a video about. And this is my shrine to my original first dog that I found, that I may have accidentally pushed off a very high place because I was being hassled by the wandering traders, llamas. That very high place was somewhere up there as I was building that. Anyway, so we're back to here. Remember, this is where this was my base there, but we won't stay here. We're going to go off over along here, which is where the animals used to be. And there's a little bridge here. Look, that guy's got a cellar. You can see it. Nothing that you can see a cellar in there. So you can either go across the big main bridge here through the gate, or as we did, just walk down the street and over the little bridge. Doesn't really make any difference. And just into this last bit of the town, which has an exit to the actual wide world. This is not defended area out there. There's a drinking fountain thing. This is the water mill. We'll look at that in a minute. These are, I think, just shells. Maybe the upstairs or some of them might be done. Here is the docks. So in there we've got people working on wood. Yeah, just wood, and there's barrels and stuff. But we'll go in the customer entrance, which is down here. You can see here there's some boat builders who work on boats being mended there. I think these are empty. Yeah, they're empty. So what we've got: entrance only, exit only. So if we try and go in the exit, we can't get it. We can't go anywhere. So this is one-way system. Entrance only is in here, and you would go past the guy and show him your ticket. This just goes through to the next room. We'll go there in a minute, which lets you go through. Why is that not working? Why is that not working? Right, there we go. It does work. It's just the lag is so painful. That goes down, and then you can walk over it. It's quite simple. And then this is exit only, you see, so you can get out that way. And this is the dock. And what we've got here is these guys making pains of themselves. Storage area over here for whatever. The main pier. This is very deep, actually. That's why I wanted it to be like a jetty. It makes sense. So it's the idea stuff can come from out at sea. There's a crane here for craning things. Yeah, this is the dock. This is just what we just looked at, the sort of works area. All of these towers, you can go up and have a look around. This one doesn't connect to anything though. yeah, they've got an upstairs in their house. They've got a storage room here. They've got these hatches at the window for taking deliveries, and they've got their main bedroom in here where they go to sleep. There's some shelves, there's a sink and some towels and a mirror, a couple of pictures. Don't think there's anything up further. No, just some cobwebs and lighting. I haven't used that room. So yeah, that's sort of a finished-ish place. And the three guys seem to be here quite happy. Breeding as necessary, I suppose. Oh, these are jungle logs, exotic. And then the wall that goes around, as we can see, here we go, has nice views of everything. I kind of wanted to build something on that land, but I don't think it's going to happen. But this connects through to the palace, and it connects through to the main keep of the palace, but we're not going to go in there, so it will go in that door there. But let's go into the palace through the main entrance, which will be up this river. And here we come to the main gates, and there's some nice fire pits each side. This is the Prismarine Palace. And there are some guards' quarters above the gate, I hope. Yeah, here we go. This looks like it's a eating and sleeping area. There's no guards here though, but this is an eating, sleeping sort of place. Back out to the gate, and then on the other side I think it's just storage. Yeah, it's just storage. There's some barrels up there. So first thing, you come out to this area here. The main palace is here through this door here, but the palace gardens are there, and we'll look at the palace gardens at the end. This is supposed to be like just a shrub. These lead to a perimeter walk. Oh, that also leads up to the monastery. Look, this is the main path that goes up to the monastery. We came at it over that bridge, but this is a way of accessing the cathedral and the monastery from the palace. So we've got these total perimeter walks around with entrances in and nice views, and then a view of the palace from out the sea is really nice if you come have a look at it. It's stunning, really nice colours. The windows are done in yellow and lime and clear typically. Anyway, let's go back so we can enter the main bit of the palace, which is through here, which brings us into this gallery with lights. It's not great, it's alright though. In there, is there any glass in there? A bit puzzled by that. It's just into the tower with no glass. Anyway, there's the main stair up to the next level. In there is the Great Hall. Let's go upstairs first. Over this side, there is a public toilet for visitors, you know. And I think up here is just empty, just storage. You know, oh look, there's a chest in there. Exciting. Yeah, just storage and a gallery. I haven't done anything with it. And the other side has a very posh bathroom. So there's another toilet here, a bit nicer toilet. Sink, wash your hands after the loo, and then a nice bathroom. So there's a sink over there, towels, and a nice tub there, some flowers on the windowsills, nice lighting, more towels over there. So this is like the royal bathroom, really, because the main royal bedroom is next to this, and it's up here. So we got this antechamber first, and the idea is this would be sort of a cupboard, gigantic wardrobes. That's the conceit behind this. With a mirror, and there's hooks for hanging clothes on and stuff. But in here is the royal bed. So there's mirrors. And they've got like a... Why can't I get up? Oh, you need to get in like that. And then you can get into your bed. So it's a big 4-poster bed. There. With a big prismarine chimney. And some nice pictures and things. This is the royal bedroom. Yeah. I'll shut the doors behind me. And then we still won't go through to the main hall yet. Round the back here, past the sort of library area, in here is the sort of royal chapel. So there's diamond encrusted armor statues and things, and there's an altar and prismarine ceiling and all that stuff, and benches. So yeah, this is a royal chapel. It's a very blinged up chapel. And in here is what I take to be sort of office space for running the place. I don't really know what to do with this, so we've got just stuff to make it look like a thing at the moment. Not very happy with that, but it's got something in there at least. Now, if we go here, as I said, this is the main hall of the Prismarine Palace, so this needs to be all Prismarine. And what we've got in here is a... There we go. It's quite cool. These columns of different Prismarine, and the throne here. And these are the... This is the sort of version of the flag at the back. When there's a nether update, I understand we can have pink fire or blue fire or something. I'd like to experiment with different coloured fire in here. But yeah, this is the throne room. I quite like this. It was quite difficult to do. This door here goes back through to that office thing we were just in. Otherwise, you come through this door. See, the idea is a bit like Jabba the Hutt's throne, where you just have all the courtiers standing around in the back here, on the sides and whatever, and people would have to approach the ruler. Anyway, through this door here, you get to a junction first. So this is the outside path that meets the junction with that. The outside path carries on over there. If we carry on this way instead, we come into the dining hall, which has got a minstrel's gallery up here, which you access by a ladder just outside the door there. I do putting some food down, but yeah, this is the idea. It's supposed to be just a big dining hall. Nice colours, nice dark. This takes you into the keep, the main keep. Excuse me. This takes you to the only very simple kitchen. Now we got this in here. There's a chef here. He's got a place to cook. He's got a fridge, and he's got things here making smoke. Some sort of fridge or something. Anything in your cupboard? Oh, he's got a cake in the cupboard. Nothing in that cupboard. And some storage bits and bobs and cupboards up there. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Now, what needs doing still? Did that let me out? No. Is I want to put an undercroft. Why won't it let me out? I want to put an undercroft under either the main hall or the dining hall, which will have storage for meats and things and all the wines and all of that business. So all of that needs to go in somewhere, but that can wait. Back into what I said, this door goes into the keep. Here we are. So that's to the outside work, the path around the outside we've talked about. So that also brings you through to the keep. So we got this first passageway here, which takes you up the staircase and brings you out in this nice royal area, which I haven't really done anything with views over the sea. Rather nice views, peaceful. And around the side, again, it's just this checkered floor and views. That's the sort of vegetable garden just outside the kitchen area. Why can I hear a spider? Should never hear a spider. And it carries on up. Yeah, so this, I can definitely hear a spider. Maybe he's on the outside. So there's just this room on the side. It's just a halfway floor. That was really close. And then these haven't got any lighting in them. What the hell? There we are. So there's just empty rooms at the top again. Why haven't I got lighting in these rooms? Am I thinking that things can't spawn on carpet? I think that might be a mistaken thought. I don't know though. Let's light them up. The green one and the fourth one is a yellow one. And these need doing something with, just like cupboards putting in and beds and things. Each one is one room and a sort of side room. That's the first we came to. When you get up to the very top, what was up here? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I kept this here just because it was so cool to look up at the inside of the spire. And I think you can actually, yeah, you can come out here. It's the only place in any of these sort of builds that I've done where you can actually get out. I'm just going to see if I can see a spider outside somewhere. I can't. How strange. Anyway, so we're on top of the keep at this point here. Let's go down again. And down the stairs again. There's nothing up here. So this is what's up in the keep. A big lot of nothing. And then the outer door, it all brings into the same area. This is another toilet. This area isn't really developed. You see it comes all the way round, and that's the door on the other side. It's the same. So this is just a big empty area that I haven't developed. Up here is the entrance to the walls. When we were walking on the walls, and I said we're coming to the keep, that's where we came to. So that comes in there. Over this side, we've got, that's the same toilet, or a different one, who knows. Over this side, we've got continued access to the walls outside the palace here. Why did it lag? Right. And the kitchen that we just visited was just in here. It was just inside here. You can hear it's just in that door there. So this is a kitchen garden for use by the court. These are just the continued walls that run all the way around the outside. We talked about them before. The last thing is at the bottom of the keep. There is down there. Will you stop doing that? Let me through. Why is it so laggy? Oh, fucking hell. Mojang. Or is it Sky to blame? Won't let me through the door. Right. So if we go down here, what we get to is, there you go, a boat stuck in here, and that switch there will let the water in, and you can sail out on that then. So it's just a water gate thing. You let me through? Right. Hang on, how do we get out? This way. That door. And that water gate is there. So this is the keep, this is the sea, the water gate's there. The entrance to the castle and the city is over there. If you go this way, you get an entrance to the main docks. But you can't get any further because this bridge has got this mechanism, which you can release. And that'll let you through. There's another switch the other side that does the same thing. And yeah, the mill, which we may as well look at because we're here, is sitting here. There's some farmers wandering around this. I'm waiting for them to breed. They're very reluctant to breed. I don't know why they're so reluctant to breed. There's water coming up from a channel out of the rock. Oh dear, why is it leaking? Well, that shouldn't be going down there. That's a fucking Enderman, isn't it? That shouldn't be going down there. Where's that going to? That just caused an almighty flood. Okay. Let's put that back. Because that shouldn't be doing that. There we go. This is just coming out of the rock and been taken over the mill to run the water wheel. There we go. And then this is all stuff to be farmed by the guys. That's better. Tidier, isn't it? Right. But they seem very reluctant to make babies, these ones. I don't know why. Outside, if you keep coming out of my town, there is one of these. If we go out, see the walls. Now we're outside the wall, literally outside the wall. There's nothing protecting us here. You can get onto the city walls by going up here. And that brings you onto the main city walls. Otherwise, this doesn't go anywhere. You're sort of stuck. And there's a back entrance here, through here, hidden through the vines. Oh, I won't open it. I'll just go over the... Oh, I do need to open it, do I? There we go. And that takes us, hello, into the mill. That's what all this is. So this is inside the mill. And the mill's got a downstairs with nothing in it. Just a chest. That's where the mill workings would be. And the upstairs, which I think just has some beds. I don't think there's anything going on. No, it's quite basic. It's got a loft. Why has it got a loft? No reason. Okay. Yeah, and that's the mill. I think the last thing, we didn't look at the gardens of the palace, did we? Let's go back over to the palace. We looked at the vegetable garden. I mentioned the garden, let's go around the back. Here we are. Right, now we're back at where we came in through the door there, and I said the gardens are here, and here they are. So they're kind of in fake oriental style, with the water running through them, like that. See, the layout of the garden is quite pretty, with bridges and flowers and the water running, and just, this would be lovely with some decent texture packs. I've done it with some other texture packs. A couple of birds in there. They're actually named Samson and Delilah, but you can't see that through the cage. Hello. Views up to the cathedral. I just imagine a Alhambra princess in here, looking out across at the city with her parrots, like Aladdin, Princess Jasmine Aladdin. Anyway, and these are the stairs then that lead you over the river that comes in and over towards the city. And the first thing is this massive tower, which is a junction between the stables, so you could leave your horse there and go into the palace. That's the idea behind this. Oh, what are you doing there? What the fuck are you doing there? Apparently there's a golem here now. And this then comes out into the main city. That's what's here. There is an entrance to a, I can imagine it's a guardhouse. Things will let me through the doors here. These banners have been put here by a friend from another city. He has some idea that this guardhouse is something to do with him. I don't really understand it yet, but anyway. The protectors of Oh Great Carrot. I don't understand. I think they're the protectors of my own city, but anyway. So that is all of that in Swinneyminster. We've seen that the fortifications of my base area were extended around. And they actually form the route up to the Nether portal now, which eventually found its home up here. You've probably seen it kicking around in the background, but it's up there, up past the mill. So you can access this up here. This goes into my house. We actually went through that door way back at the beginning of this very long program. This is all just barren territory. This is outside and nothing lives here apart from monsters. It's sort of untamed. And this, it goes up. It goes up through the rocks and the portal. There's a path that runs around and goes up and comes out and runs around and goes up. The Nether portal is backed by glass. You can see there to stop things spawning and walking out the other side of it, like pigmen and things. Let's shut that, and to stop you banging into it from the other side as well. It looks a bit annoying. It's much better with Optifine when they finally release that, because it will give us connected glass textures. This is the city wall, which we've all seen before. This is the arena, which I haven't done a proper demonstration of yet. Maybe I should do that and the museum in the next episode, because they're both quite extensive and both quite fun. And then over here, this is the bit that we're familiar with in the latest builds. So you walk past the pumpkins out of my house is one way of getting here, but the other way is along the main bridge. Anyway, it brings you to this area here. You can see there's a bit of defensive wall here, and that connects up to the tower at the end of the bridge over there. So down here we've got some slightly better buildings, more high quality buildings. I've finished a little bit better, not hugely. They've still got the same lighting to bring everything in. And this is the sort of university district. That's the university over there. We've got this square up here. There's a back entrance to this house up here. That's a wardrobe. Yeah, that's a wardrobe. It needs furnishing. But look, this is quite a large house. Quite a large house. Look, there's extensive space. Yeah, there's a downstairs. Oh, that's a wardrobe. There's a downstairs here. I think this all joins together. It's all one house, isn't it? Yeah, it's all the same house. This big thing. That all the way back here. All of that on the left is all one massive house. He's also got, you see there's some path going up here, because there's some hay storage in there, just for decoration. And then over on this side here, we've got a little restaurant on the main square, with the water coming out of a dragon's mouth, that's supposed to be. And we've talked about this nice use of spent fire campfires to make a roof of that. They're really nice. Really nice. And so I guess what this is going to be the place that prepares that food, although look, it's clearly not yet. It's just a big empty shell. But it needs kitting out a little bit so it can be a restaurant kitchen for this thing. Out over the main square here, which has been sunk so it's mob proofed, there are these just water things for decoration. You've got a memorial cross up there, which is quite nice. And then the city maze here, which we won't do in the day in the night time because it's full of mobs. Now there are command blocks in there that kill creepers that go into the maze, but not anything else. That's the previous episode. Quite a fun maze. It's doable. It's not particularly easy, but it's doable. Then these gently step down here. We've got this big house here that we built not long ago, over a few floors. That looks fairly finished. There's a room. Can I see something on there? Yeah, we even put plants in there. And I think we said this was the commercial entrance to this house, didn't we? Yeah, okay. Don't know what the house is, but that's what's here. And we've got these gardens. Don't want to walk on the back of them. This is an exit from this area. But we've got the gardens here, and the fountains, benches to sit on. This is the entrance to the university. Over here, on the left, we've got this building, which I think is a bank, which I finished today. This is what you might have seen this in other videos. I kind of started to do a dome on top, not really knowing what I'm doing. I'm not entirely convinced I've got the proportions of that right, but it will do for now. Let's go down to it. And there's a couple of houses along the side of it here. I don't think there's anything interesting about them. A couple of different levels. It's a cupboard, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, they're just houses. This thing here is the bank type thing, which is empty at the moment. It just lit up. That's it, up into the dome. Up to the front door. Not sure what to do with the space yet. This just tips out here into the open. Not sure about that yet. We're down here at the bridge. You should sort of get a feel of how this city works now. We've seen these views enough times to know what we're doing, I think. Let's take a picture. This is the bridge that we decorated a few episodes ago. The further bridge is the one we walked along earlier. This is just more of the same. And then into the university, which is nearly done. I was building along one of the sides again today. Is it this side? In fact, I think I was building on today. Yeah, there's zombies in the maze. So we can have a quick look around. What's missing is secret passages, because at the moment everything's quite straightforward. So you've got just rooms that are all sort of symmetrical. You can tell where you wing you in by the colour of the ceiling. Not sure about the decoration. Not sure about all the redstone lamps. Not sure. This is kind of off a semi pre-made tutorial type thing that a friend, someone I know was building here for me, that we were adapting into this. So we've put a big fountain in the middle, and some lighting and stuff. And then, yeah, in the corner you can go up and you get these rooms, and this brings you onto the balcony around, and you go up higher. I just get a bit lost, actually. I can't remember where I've been and where I'm going, frankly, which I suppose is a good thing. but I don't really remember. And there we go. This is the one place that I have put these secret panels in, so they slide the bookcase back if you click on them. But as far as we've got with that is that you can get down now to another area, and you can knock through the walls here, and we can build out and access some of the secret passages. That way we can go out a different way. Blue area, but it needs some more of that kind of stuff. I'm assuming I can just keep going up. I'm not entirely sure. I'm at the top of something now. Don't know where I am. I'm in the top of a tower of some sort. Oh look, there's more steps. Yeah, more steps. Where are we going? Oh, it doesn't go anywhere. It just goes to the top of a tower. Okay. Okay, well, that's the top of the tower. Yeah, so it's a bit empty and it needs to be kitted out like a university. So extensive libraries and, I don't know, lecture rooms or something. I don't know. Need to think about it. This is the... Where did we go? Did we just go up? We just went up a tower, didn't we? I wonder which one we went up. Oh, there's a way to get out to these balconies that we didn't find. Okay. I'm really not sure about that dome. I'm really not sure at all that I've got that right. It's either too small or the wrong shape or something. Yeah. So apart from the arena and the museum in the main square, that is what we've got of Swinneyminster at the moment. Now, if we hop over here, just behind the wall, I've laid out a map of the city itself for my design purposes. Now, if we have a look at that now, it might make some sense. So here's the big main square. The cathedral's here, all the way down to this at the end. Oh, that at the end is a prison. The idea is you take zombie villagers in there until you cure them. So they've got there's a prison for zombie villagers, and there's a noose thing beside it. These are the big houses we went in on the main square. This is the teleportation center. This is the museum thing. This is the bridge that goes across and up to the monastery area. Then there's a big step down. This is the Prismarine Palace. That's the steps up to the Prismarine Palace. That's the bridge across for the Prismarine Palace to the city that we built. That's the keep, and the wall, the defensive wall, stretches all the way up to the top and then runs along the ridge of the mountain here down to the arena there, and then along the back all the way across, all the way around this here, and then extends down in a straight line to here to meet the road at a junction there, and along the road here back to the edge of the city. So all of this area here, including this is the university and this is, that's the dome I built. All of this is going to be enclosed city. And the area that I've been working on the farms is this area out here, outside of the enclosed city. All you see all that green, that's all the area that I've worked and dealt with. And then towards the city, this area here is going to be the low density housing. So houses with gardens and things, and this is going to be high density housing. All of this sort of stuff that we've walked through. Smaller houses really jammed together. Anything in the walls is going to be pressed for space, but outside the walls, a bit more space leisure. This is my base area here. So the original spawn area where we started is about where the cross is now in the middle. What we could do, just to finish this off before we spend the next episode looking at the arena and the museum, is just to take a wander along the wall and the path on foot and then out to the farmed area. That might be nice. Let's do that. so we won't go that way. What we'll do is we'll go to the main square. Where is the main square? I can't even get my bearings. Over here, Cathedral Square. Lagging back. Here we go. There's the teleportation thing. And we'll use that to look at these other areas in the world. I think this is going to be many episodes of looking around this world. So this is one of the main exits of the city. There we go. Right, we're now outside the walls. Everything on my left, this is the wall. You can see there's ways in. The wall goes up and above there. And this is my main route that I built out, that I followed for months before I built the wall. It used to be just a cobblestone road. And it came out to this watchtower first. Now I thought this watchtower was miles away when I first built it. It was the first kind of place away from home that I went to. All of these doors take us into places. That one takes us into the city, or the city that will be. And this takes us into the watchtower area. It's going to be an arse. But this was just a big spiral thing that I could go to the top of and work out where the hell to go. And I used all that iron and all that cobblestone just for that purpose, because I thought that everything was miles away, and I saw the zombie village down there. And that's the zombie village. There was no one in it. So the first village I found in the whole of Minecraft was a zombie village, an abandoned village, which I've now rejuvenated. I've fixed it all up. I've brought some villagers over in survival mode, fixed it all up in survival mode, beat some raids in survival mode there. It's my nearest village. My nearest and dearest are there. They've spawned about 7, 8 golems now. They've gone a bit ballistic. So yeah, that was why this watchtower's here, and I've kept it here, and sort of it's a junction in the roads now. The watchtower is also connected to my main base with underground tunnels, because I thought I might put a railway in. I still might, actually. It might be quite useful. Anywho, the city walls continue over there, and you can see past the village. They turn left and go up there. We're going to go this way, and everything on the right is going to be where this, well, and on the left, I think, where low density housing is going to be. I think there might be, yeah, look, there's a mine shaft entrance here. There's a few scattered around here that I want to preserve. I've already found a few in my, what was that, chicken. I've already found a few in my farming area, 2 or 3, I think. That sounded like a golem. It's not, it's a cow. Right, and this brings you then, at the edge of all of the housing, you can see some of my walls over there, to the farming area, which is this. So if you can imagine all of this with houses between us and the watchtower back there, that's how this is going to work. And this is all pretty much the same. So we've got, not there. How do we get in? Oh, you get in over there. So you go in here. This is one of the mine entrances I was talking about. But you go into the fields. Oh, look, there's a exit of the on the other side. Quite straightforward, quite obvious. These ones are self-contained. This just brings you out. I don't know where out over here is going to be yet. Don't quite know. This one here, same idea. Take you through. I can see this has got an exit gate on the other side though. Here. I also remembered that. Did I shut the gate? No. Over here, there was a pond, so I put like a picnic table thing there, because that's going to abut onto some of the actual housing area, and it's sort of a bit like a local park for them, I think. Anyway, you carry on around here, and there's just fields and fields of wheat that you can. This See the paths going through them there. You can go for miles. Well, not miles. Let's keep going. This is a road off to somewhere. I don't know where yet. There's things over there, but I'm not sure. This is my lake house. So this is the second base I built away from anywhere. What I'd done is I dug out to the watch tower thing in the underground mines, but I'd carried on. And then randomly, I just dug up. I thought, oh, this might be far enough away. I was going underground. I was scared of being above ground. I dug up, and I came out here. That goes down to my mines. And I was so chuffed. I'd come out in the middle of a bloody island. It's a tiny island. I mean, the house is almost the entire island. It's just that I thought, oh, I need to build on that. So I built a lake house on the island, and I used it as a base for trying to find villages, wandering off into the hills, just exploring. And like the other thing, this has got a sluice gate. There we go. Mine's before I had sticky pistons, so this one has to work with sand. My first redstone, that was. And there's my bedroom's up here. There used to be the bridge used to be higher, and you used to be able to access the bridge through a door in the wall there, but not anymore. Needs a painting on it, really. So yeah, that's the lake house, and that's staying there. And then over here, shut the gate. There's some kind of, now the animals are over here, so all of these have these kissing gate things, and there's some kind of idea that you could access the outside world through here. That's the idea of that. Not sure what to do with that yet, but that's the idea. And here's the main route that runs along the side here, and in here, well, I'd show you what we've got. We've got 3 lower fields here, which aren't crops. That they've got lilacs in them and bees here. And the bees are in the hive here. And what I've put under here is a switch that will flick and expose the hives to the smoke of the campfires so that I can harvest from them. That was done in a previous video, how it works. It's a bit, the video is the one with the really poor quality, but there's, yeah, enough space between the campfires and the trapdoors for the trapdoors to work. If you put trapdoors straight on top of a campfire, it won't block it, but if you put a space between them, it will. So that's what's going on there. This is the next, we're just walking along the street. That's the next one. Over here, the third one, we've got the same mechanism going on with the, there we go, there's the switch for the trapdoors, and a field of pumpkins kind of next door to it, just for a bit of variety. The main sort of network around these crop fields is a network of separate paths. So this plateau was covered in lakes and things, so I thought I'd keep them as ponds, and we'd have paths. So you see we've got the fields in there and the fields in there. That's extensive how that path goes all the way up there. But between them we've got these sort of country lanes I've put in. I lit them up this afternoon, but they've been in for quite a few days. They're quite nice. Yeah, you can just walk through them. There's some lilies in the ponds. They look nice in texture packs that make them flower. And yeah, you can access the fields through the country lanes, through the paths. This one here, I don't know what we're going to build here yet. This is the area I fixed up. All of the terrain here is full of holes and caves and stuff. I fixed that up this afternoon. So anyway, we've got these areas here. I think over, where are we? That corner over here, you see the paths running through the fields. Over here, I think this is where the big farmhouse needs to be. Oh, I've blocked some caves up there. The farmhouse needs to be on this hill, I think. That would be quite nice, and maybe we'll knock down that wall there and join him up to the rest of the village that's all going to be over there, or the city that's going to be over there. Yeah. So these are just the paths running around everything. You get a bit lost actually trying to remember where you're going. They're quite picturesque. Almost as good as the real thing. Back to the road thing with our bees and stuff. So the animal fields are along the left-hand side, and the last field is a field of sheep. In between the two is another one of these mine shaft entrances that I wanted to keep. So there is the mine shaft entrance. I might link them all up in some clever way. Out here is access to this is the flower forest biome, and I put paths in here that will lead you to the bees that are in this biome. So there's like one there. You can see yeah, there we go, and the paths go on. Oh, there's a dog. So I just basic paths I put in. They go up to 2 more up there, etc., etc., so that you can access beehives. If I don't know why you want to access beehives, because we've got farmed ones, but you know, just for imaginative consistency. And then out the end, past the sheep, I think there's another brief path. I think, yeah, this one's not got a gate and go anywhere. Ooh. Just the idea that you might want to come and look at the lava, I suppose. Maybe I need to put picnic tables in there or something. It's that kind of idea. They're bloody noisy sheep. That kind of idea. Yeah, so there's a lot of farm and a lot of house to build over there. And this road actually connects back up eventually. Let's go through here. Here's the road. Here's a junction in the road to something that needs to be developed over there. But this is all outside the walls. Here's the city wall. Well, it's the wall around the cathedral square, but it's the city wall. I've not prismarined it because it's not part of the same thing. But yeah, this is the museum on the right, and this is another gate into the cathedral square. Oh, you bastard. And you can access those walls from there. I'm just wondering where the walls go. Yeah, this is a separate bit of wall, isn't it? It's not connected to the main prismarine network. Anyway, yeah, that's what's here. This is the prison I mentioned. Oh god, there they are. Poor unfortunate souls in their prisons down there. The idea being that they would just follow you in, and then you can make them fall over the trapdoors because they won't see them, and go down to their cages. And I think we've got in here a load of name tags. Yeah, poor unfortunate soul name tags for them. We need a load of golden apples and splash potions of weakness in there as well to make that workable. But that's something can be played in survival as well. This is just the hangman's thing. Not very nice. Yeah, and so what we'll do next time is look at the arena and look at the museum. But for the moment, we will hop in the first teleporter and go up to the map room. It's a way of getting back to my spawn point, which is here, map room. There we go. Hang on, let it sort its life out. if it sorts its life out. There we go. And then we're in the map room. That's the world map. There is a border, a proper world border at the edges of that map that you can't go through. We are there, where it says Swinneyminster. That's where we are. You can see from the red and the grey and stuff. And that village there is where we're going out to. So all of this area will be developed. And the lake house is down there. We can see that. So it's quite a large area of map we're doing. But there's a lot of other things marked, a lot of other locations on this map already. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was the first part of the tour. Why can I hear a spider? Around Swinneyminster. We'll do part 2 next time. Nothing in my bamboo farm, is there? No, nothing in my bamboo farm. We'll do the next part. Let's go back up to there. I like that viewing point, where we'll look at the arena and the museum, and then we will explore some of the other areas of the world. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.